Let's get into it. Trump has got liberals scared. I'm talking about regular, just as my friend likes to call them, blue anon liberals. That's what we call liberals who are spreading misinformation. Just so you guys know, when they're spreading lies, call them blue anon, okay? Um my friend coined that. Jenny Frederick, good job. We're talking about Project 2025. And I think there's a lot of fear mongering going on around Project 2025 because what they're really scared of is the fact that Trump is about to win this election. They saw the debate and now there is panic behind the scenes. People in CNN, Van Jones, who's like brought on to cry in front of the camera constantly, even he is just being stoic, calm, and honest about it, I guess. It's so weird to say Van Jones in honesty, but even he's saying it's panic behind the scenes. They are panicking. They don't know what to do. So now they're like, listen, you can't let Trump win because Project 2025 is going to come and it's the boogeyman. It's doing all sorts of horrible things. So what I'm going to be showing you guys today is a clip of Lizzo, because listen, if you don't know what to do politically in your life, you gotta listen to Lizzo. Of course. She played a flute and twerked at the same time. So we gotta play what she has to say, obviously. And then I'm going to be playing some other various clips about Project 2025 and all the fear mongering that's going on, because this fear mongering is very apparent. And then I'm going to bring you the facts. Okay, we're just going to go over the actual facts, okay, in regards to what Donald Trump actually thinks about Project 2025, because the liberals, the Democrats, are being very dishonest on this one. Check this out.
If you've been closely watching this show and this network, and even on social media, you've probably heard of Project 2025, sometimes also called the Presidential Transition Project. It's a 900-page policy document put together by a bunch of conservative interest groups as a guide for how a second Trump administration can weaponize the federal government in pursuit of a, frankly, frighteningly authoritarian vision. It's also a wish list of a bunch of fringe far-right policy proposals that I think many voters would be really horrified to learn about. It seems like a lot of people are starting to pick up on the project and its proposals thanks to warnings like this one from host Taraji B. Henson, undercovered relative to how absolutely unhinged they are, even by the standards of today's Republican Party. So, first and foremost, there is this nakedly authoritarian plotting, like the plan to weaponize the Department of Justice as a tool directly under the control of Donald Trump. Quoting from the document itself, the DOJ falls under the direct supervision and control of the President of the United States as a component of the executive branch. Litigation decisions must be made consistent with the president's agenda. By the way, Justice John Roberts just endorsed that in the 6-3 immunity decision, so they've got carte blanche on that. What it means is that Donald Trump directs the Department of Justice. There is no independence. There's no firewall. He tells them what to do, who to prosecute, who to defend, and the like. And I think this portion of Project 2025, the authoritarian plots to purge the civil service, replace it all with MAGA loyalists, like deep down into the government, is getting most of the attention, and for good reason. But there's so much more to Project 2025, including, again, a whole bunch of fringe, hard-right culture war stuff. So, for instance, unsurprisingly, the document calls for a full-out, whole-of-government approach to the assault on reproductive rights on women. For conservatives to gratefully celebrate the greatest pro-family win in a generation, overturning Roe v. Wade. It includes an effective abortion ban by calling for the FDA, right? They're going to appoint people to the FDA who suddenly announce, oh, you can't have a medication abortion. Reverse its approval of chemical abortion drugs like mifepristone, which is used in the majority of all abortions in this country. And again, in red and blue states where abortion is legal or not. And to be clear, there's no absolutely justification for this, right? Mifepristone has been used safely for decades. This is not a scientific determination. They're going to put...
This is incredible because this is MSNBC. And I know we're not supposed to expect much from MSNBC, but it's so why it's like these guys don't know that people can just check into what they're saying. So, yes, all of this is true. All of this is a part of Project 2025, But all this gentleman here, this dead-eyed gentleman would have to do is look into Donald Trump's stance when it comes to this whole thing. And he was already on a podcast recently and a few interviews in the past, 2 months, where he said he would not support a national ban on abortion. He said, leave it up to the states. That's how it should be. He goes, I would never have a national ban where I just call the shot and say it's banned everywhere. He has said that time and time and time again. Right, as recently as just 10 days ago, he said this. But, it's interesting. Project 2025 seems to be alarming liberals, but Agenda 2030, made by Klaus Schwab, being implemented by every government who has a young global leader at the helm, like Canada, that doesn't worry anybody. Everybody's just like, what's that? Huh? What's that? Are you kidding me? At least when it comes to Project 2025 and Agenda 2030, you can actually see Agenda 2030 being implemented by governments. It's not hearsay. It's happening. It's really happening. And someone has to put a stop to it. Donald Trump is that person, but he's not going to do it through Agenda 2025. Now, let's forget MSNBC. Let's go to someone who really matters. Lizzo. Let's get the facts from Lizzo, of course. Her manager told her to do this, so it's true.
The Supreme Court just ruled on, I think, 3 or 4 new laws that are really starting to put Project 2025 in motion. If you don't know what Project 2025 is, it is not a scare tactic. It is not a conspiracy. It is very real. And here are some of the guidelines. Unitary executive theory. Just read this. This would give the president complete and total power to pass any bill or law he wants. Donald Trump. They're going to build that wall. Also, they're going to fast track certain immigrants if they pay a certain price. They want the next president to stop the war on oil and natural gas. The reason why we're at war anyways right now? They already got rid of Roe v. Wade, so they've already started this part, and they want to get rid of the abortion pill. And lastly, he wants to get rid of the Department of Education, so this will happen. So all those books that are getting banned, they're just going to keep on banning them. And all this was made possible because Trump appointed 3 young Supreme Court justices during his presidency, and we are seeing the effects of that.
Well, there you have it, guys. The facts from Lizzo, of course. Now, I'm not going to say anything bad about Lizzo, but I will say that she was in the way of the thing that we were supposed to read. That's all I'm saying. I'm not insulting her. I'm just saying she was kind of in the way. So, what she was asking us to read before she jumped in front of it was Project 2025 proposes that the entire federal bureaucracy, including independent agencies such as the Department of Justice, be placed under direct presidential control, a controversial idea called unitary executive theory. In practice, this would streamline decision-making, including the president, to directly implement policies in a number of areas. So the thing is, as you keep on going with this, you're going to hear a lot of things in Project 2025 that are pretty good ideas. Let's just be honest. As you hear, even what she said, she's like, they're going to build that wall. It's like she doesn't realize that there's a huge percent of the population who's like, yes, please build that wall. Please. Everybody in Chicago's like, yes, please. There's a gang forming in our midst. And this isn't the regular black gangs that we're used to. These are Venezuelans. at least the black gangs are American. They subdue themselves a little bit. The Venezuelan gang doesn't care. And I'm not making that up right now. It's a gang called TDA. Go and check it out. It's a prison gang. They were in prison. They were released from prison, and now they're in through the southern border. That is a real thing. Now, like I said, there's going to be some things that you heard, just like they said, getting rid of the Department of Justice, things of that nature. Please get out of the way, Lizzo. And then here, increase funding for the wall, making sure that there is a wall, U.S.-Mexico border. One of the signature proposals from Donald Trump, however, more prominent, are the So more expansions of power, U.S. immigration agencies, and a large expansion in their power, which pretty much, I don't want to say Biden was for that, but Biden wanted more people as well. Again, 2020 Project 2025 has a lot of common sense stuff in it, and they're making it out like it's this crazy authoritarian thing that's just gonna wreck democracy and change the United States as we know it. And then this one just has to do with not going in for the climate change nonsense anymore. These are all good ideas, but here's the thing about these ideas: they're not real. They keep presenting it. You know what's funny? Even as she was talking, she's like, the president's going to be able to do this. Donald Trump. They know Trump is about to be elected. They get it. They're really getting it. Here's another person who's talking about Project 2025. Now, again, I'm going to show you what Trump is actually endorsing and what his plans actually are. And I'm going to give you the ability to actually see all of it because he's already provided a extensive library of what he plans to implement. But listen to this, as if this is all bad. Listen to this.
Republican Party's agenda for women in this upcoming 2024 election is pretty clear. They want us married to men and having their children, and that is the only thing they want for us. They don't want us to be single mothers. They don't want us to be in same-sex relationships, and they definitely do not want us to be childless. If you don't believe me, this came directly from their playbook, The Mandate for Leadership, on Project 2025's website. Let's start here. On page 13, promise number 4 says that they want to secure our God-given individual right to enjoy the blessings of liberty. They say the pursuit of the good life is found primarily in family, marriage, and children. On page 400.
Sorry, I don't want you to forget. These are bad things. These are bad things that she's saying. These aren't good things. These are bad. This is bad.
51, one of their goals for the Department of Health and Human Services is to promote stable and flourishing married families. Families comprised of a married mother, father, and their children are the foundation of a well-ordered nation and healthy society. Unfortunately, family policies and programs under President Biden's Health and Human Services are fraught with agenda items focusing on, quote, LGBTQ equity, quote, subsidizing single motherhood, disincentivizing work, and penalizing marriage. These policies should be repealed and replaced by policies that support the formation of a stable, married, nuclear family. Working fathers are essential to the well-being and development of their children, but the United States is experiencing a crisis of fatherlessness that is ruining our children's futures. Mind you, nowhere in here in this entire document are they addressing the root cause of fatherlessness at all. At no point have they held fathers accountable for this, but I digress. In the overwhelming number of cases, fathers insulate children from physical and sexual abuse, financial difficulty, or poverty, incarceration, teen pregnancy, poor educational outcomes, high school failure, and a host of behavioral and psychological problems. By contrast, homes with non-related boyfriends present are among the most dangerous place for a child to be. HHS should prioritize married father engagement in its messaging, health, and welfare policies. So they are pushing that women stay married to the fathers of their children.
Stay married to the father of their children. Jeez. Good Lord. I can't believe it. This demon Donald Trump. These conservatives have lost their mind. They want the nuclear family to exist to protect children. Hey, what are you thinking is a good thing? If this is bad, what's good to you? It's like, no, I want the kids in a dangerous situation around a man that they barely know and a man that barely cares about them. I love that. I love that for women. And I want a woman to be able to leave and, you know, not be able to support her kids properly. I like poverty for single mothers. I think that's a great step. Like, what is the thing that she wants? How is all of everything she just said bad? But again, when it comes to Project 2025, this is not something that's being implemented by the Republican Party. This was made by a think tank that is ran by someone named Kevin Roberts. Kevin Roberts, of which is an amazing man, and he's the founder of the Heritage Foundation. But again, this is just a think tank but they're presenting this like this is Trump's doctrine. It is crazy.
So I've got something that may be useful for you. I was talking to some people today and we were talking about how to win the election in November. And I said, well, one thing we need to do is more messaging. For example, did you know that only 1 in 4 Americans have ever heard of Project 2025? 1 in 4. I said, do you know what Project 2025 is? You know, it's the plan that Republicans have in place that they're going to execute in the first 180 days if Trump is elected. And they were like, yeah, kind of, but can you give us some talking points? And I was like, okay, sure. So here they are in case they help you. And caveat, of course, before I start, Project 2025 is a very long document. And so to give like a 2-minute little spiel on it is hard, but I'm going to try. If you're talking to a friend on the street corner and you just want to give them the highlights, try this. So you can start by saying something like, did you know that there is a large group?
I just have to say, that's exactly how propaganda works. Listen, it's 900 pages long, but you don't have to read that. I'm just going to tell you what's in it. You just believe me, and the next time you're talking to someone else, you just tell them exactly what I've told you. It's called the Mockingbird effect. It works wonderful. It'll help us in November.
Group of billionaire right-wing Christian nationalists who has put together a blueprint for the next Republican president, which will assumedly be Trump. It's called Project 2025. It's 920 pages long, and it is a thorough plan for how they're going to change the country fundamentally to a place that is unrecognizable to almost all of us. Project 2025 is basically a plan for systematically taking apart the federal government, which means that all of the things we rely upon in the federal government, Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits, the EPA, workers' protections, all those things dismantled. Project 2025 has a very clear plan to extend the powers of the executive branch and give the president the powers of basically an autocrat. The president would then use those powers to issue executive orders that would basically reverse a lot of our civil rights. Contains a plan to redirect the military to support domestic law enforcement, and that includes using the Insurrection Act to stop protests on U.S. soil that the administration doesn't agree with. It will remove pretty much all government protections from LGBTQIA people and criminalize many of them. It will reverse racial equality, attack diversity, and reverse all environmental gains.
This is beautiful. This is right from the Communist Handbook. It's like, hey, listen, black people, listen, brown people, immigrants, people who are LGBT, all of you guys come together. We all have to round up against this whole thing. It's gonna attack all of us. It's the invisible enemy. We have another invisible enemy, folks. Absolutely ridiculous. But again, this is not like I showed you in the first clip. This is not something that's just happening on Twitter with random people. The mainstream media is pushing this as well. This is their last ditch effort to try and save what they think is saving democracy, which I will say is them just trying to maintain power. This is their last ditch effort. And I like that I'm seeing the last ditch effort because it makes me realize that Trump is really about to win this thing. And I think they know it, especially with Biden refusing to step down, to step aside. I love it. Listen to this.
Let's talk about Project 2025. Democrats have been sounding the alarm about this document, more than 900 pages. What is it, and what are Democrats so riled up about?
I think critically, you should point out, this is not a campaign document. These are advisors, though, many of whom will probably be in a second Trump White House should he win in November. What it is it's on paper. And I think when you put 900 plus pages of conservative policies, and the vast majority of them are strong conservative policies that you and I would be very familiar with, but they're also very aggressive. And I think some of them would be considered radical, even by some Republicans, when you look at the immigration space, when you look at the federal agency space, when you look at what they would want to do with abortion and things like mifepristone. They spell them out in detail, written each chapter by somebody who either had a past high-level role in the administration or could likely have one in a second administration, laying out what they aspirationally would like to do. I think the reality is it actually tracks really closely with what we've seen from the Trump team, from the campaign on their own website. The president has been very upfront about his expansive policy goals for a second term. And it's also this, Project 2025 is not operating in isolation, nor are they operating in a vacuum. There is a constellation of outside groups, very well funded, former Trump administration officials that would likely be in a second term that are doing similar things, just less publicly.
I love to just hear the propaganda. They will likely be in his administration. How do you know that? How do you know who Donald Trump's going to have in his administration? Did you just see what happened to Donald Trump during his first term? how many people backstabbed him, you have no idea who's about to be in his administration. He has learned a thing or two, and he's not just going to have random people just because they're Republicans or just because they say they're America first. He's going to have people in there that actually have his back. So nobody has any idea who these people are going to be. Nobody. Not me, not you, nobody. The only one I could really say for sure is Vivek. If Vivek's not VP, he's going to be in the administration in some capacity. That's the only person I could think of. Now listen to this, because this is the real thing that people need to start hearing.
What you got to say about Project 2025?
Have you heard of Agenda 47?
Say what?
Agenda 47.
Nah.
It's the actual platform that Trump is going to push when he becomes president. It's listed on his official campaign website. Project 2025 is not to be found there. Matter of fact, Project 2025 was created by a conservative think tank named the Heritage Foundation.
It's supposed to make it illegal to be
Has
homeless.
nothing to do with Trump. Trump has neither endorsed nor supported this platform. He has his own.
But I saw on BET.
I don't care what any Hollywood elite or BET Awards show hosted by Taraji P. Henson have told you about Project 2025. It is not a talking point of President Trump's campaign, nor is it something that he's interested in. It's just another tool to fearmonger you and to just continue to vote for the same people over and over again and never breaking the cycle of chaos that we see within the black community.
How crazy is it that you could look at this guy? This guy is a TikToker, clearly. He's clearly, he has a little microphone here. He has his MAGA hat on, looking nice, I must say. But how crazy is it that this guy is bringing you truth, and this guy is lying? How crazy. This guy is lying. These people are all just making things up. And the random guy in front of his house with a MAGA hat on is the only one telling the truth right now. Because when you look into it, Donald Trump released this statement. I know nothing about Project 2025. I have no idea who's behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying. And some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them. This is straight from Donald Trump's mouth. And what that gentleman just said, this gentleman over here, he's right. Trump already has a platform, and it's called Agenda 47. And if you just go to any search engine, or you just go to Donald J. Trump, I believe it's donaldjtrump.com, just check into Agenda 47. He literally has it laid out, not just in writing, in video after video. I'm talking about, look at this. Let me shrink myself down for you guys. Right? This is the most recent statement that he released, where he said he wanted to go to war with the cartels because they're responsible for bringing people in. They're responsible for bringing fentanyl in, and they're literally killing American citizens on a daily basis. He has a bunch of videos ending homelessness, and ending veteran homelessness in America. No welfare for illegal immigrants. No brainer there. The American Academy, he's talking about school there. President Trump's message to the auto workers of the world. He wants to bring back those jobs. His pledge to homeschool families. I actually listened to this one because me and my wife want to do this, and he has some incredible things. Everything that's available to a kid that's in public school, if you're homeschooling your kid, you will be afforded that same thing, and you will even get, I believe it wasn't a loan, but you'll get $10,000 that'll go to things like getting them in sports leagues, getting them into after school activities so they can actually socialize properly. Because that's a big worry that me and my wife have had, because we definitely have to homeschool. His 10 principles: great schools lead to great jobs. There's a whole bunch of this stuff. There's just video after video. He has laid out exactly what he wants to do. Traffickers getting the death penalty, rescuing America's auto industry from Joe Biden's disastrous job-killing policies, rebuilding America's depleted military. This is such a big one. You have no idea. Right now, there are people floating ideas of having illegal immigrants serve in the military, and then they get citizenship. But what that fosters is a military that hasn't been assimilated into the country and doesn't hold the same values that, say, and this is just common sense, that a nice, young white guy from Texas would hold those values. You know, a guy whose dad has served and his grandfather served, and he's like third generation of serving in the military. That gentleman has different values inside of his heart when he steps into the military. Whereas an illegal immigrant will just be like, I just have to do this. I'm being forced to do this because I want to be here. You guys get what I'm saying. But again, there's just, oh gosh, I have to look at this one. I'm not going to play the videos because there's too many videos. Protecting students from the radical left and Marxist maniacs affecting the educational institutions. Beautiful. Oh, man. I'm telling you, he has video after video. Look at this. This is Agenda 47, and that was just the first page. There's 3 other pages, or 2 other pages. So you can see this all on his website. It is Agenda 47, as you can see right here. This is everything he wants to do. Anything that's outside of this has nothing to do with him. And the fact that this gentleman is presenting this as fact, although it's headed up by a conservative think tank, not people who are within Trump's earshot even. The fact that they have celebrities doing this, they have influencers doing this, they have, I guess she's an influencer too, they have mainstream media, they have all these people making things up, is absolutely wild. What we're seeing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the last death throes of a bunch of people who have been trying to maintain power at every single turn they possibly can. And the fact that they're standing on a platform right now against against Project 2025, and they're saying, I can't believe the nuclear family is something they want to exist. I can't believe they want husbands to stay with their wives. I can't believe they want children to be safe, is absolutely disgusting. I'm telling you, these people don't even hear themselves as they're making their videos. They don't even understand what's going on. Lizzo's like, I can't believe he's going to build a wall and secure the country. Ugh, what a racist. This is the most ridiculous stuff ever, guys. But it shows me that we can all get ready for Donald Trump to take office as the illustrious 47th president of the United States of America. I can't wait. Absolutely amazing. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to bring you that. Do not believe the hype about Project 2025. Go look into Agenda 47. That is where you're going to hear the real Trump policies, and you can do it via video. Sit back, listen to a bunch of videos. They're each maybe 3-4 minutes long, and you'll learn everything you need to learn. But other than that, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Other than that, I'm out.